Hey guys, welcome to JS Cafe, and in today's video we are going to talk about the hooks pattern. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So basically, before React 16.8, we were having these, classes and other stuffs in React. Now, from React 16.8, they have introduced this hooks concept, and the developers are actively using the React hooks to, achieve their business goals. But actually, they apart from using hooks, there is a pattern of using hooks in your code base also. The pattern of actually custom hooks, to be precise. And I have seen developers not utilizing this feature efficiently in the code base, and they are like rewriting those logics again and again. And this actually, goes against the principle of the code reusability, right? And having knowledge of this custom hooks pattern, and if you try to actually implement this in one of your interviews, then probably this is gonna skyrocket your interview experience and also the interviewer, because at the end it will actually give a good impression of you in front of the interviewer actually. So I think that we'll discuss about the scenarios where we can create custom hooks and make our code reusable. So, if we have a look at this custom hooks document from the React official documentation, so they say that the building your own hooks let you extract component logic into reusable functions, right? So hooks are nothing but basically a function that actually contains the reusable business logic inside it, and it actually returns something, right? Now it is up to your requirement whether you want to return the value in form of actually the user state, or if you want to just actually return one value or whatever, whichever may suit your scenario. So this is something about the custom hooks. So let's recall what we understood so far. So we understood that if there are certain sections in the components that actually sound reusable, then it is a good practice to move those logics into a custom hooks, so that in near future, if new components are created in your project, and there comes a scenario where you have to reuse those part, then you can actually use that basic custom hook just you created into other components, and this would actually increase the code reusability. Okay, so before jumping into creating our own hooks, there is this documentation from React.js where they talk about the rules of the hooks. So I thought it would be a little wise for me to talk about whatever they have mentioned in this documentation, because at the end we are going to create a custom hook, which is a hook in itself. And let us say what are the rules that React has to tell us. So React tells that we have to use hooks at the top level, and we should not call the hooks inside the loops, conditions, or the nested functions. Instead, always use hooks at the top level of your React function. So what it means that is, if we have a look at this code, perhaps, so we can see that we are actually, we have put the use effect hook inside a if condition, and this is actually breaking the rule of a hook in a condition, right? We saw that it clearly states that um, don't call hooks inside loops, conditions, or nested function. Instead, always use hooks at the top level of a React function. So this means to say that whenever you are creating hooks in your component, right? Whenever you are actually using the hooks in your component, make sure they are at the top level, inside your component actually, so that whatever comes after after these hooks, is actually these loops, conditions, and the some nested functions, right? So we it clearly states that we should not call the hooks inside some if statement or a loop or a nested function. So this is one learning we had. And so let us look at the part where we are having this code base. We are having this function form, actually a component form which has a use state of Harry, and we have again a use effect of persist form. Again we call a user state. Again we call a use effect with a function update title. Now if you notice that this documentation is actually trying to tell us that in the first render, this is the order that the React follows. It calls the use state with Mary. It calls the use effect with persist form. It calls the use state with Poppins. It calls the use effect with update title. So this was the flow of the first render, and this would still be the flow in the second render, right? And somehow, if we place this one if we place this use effect inside a if condition, something like this, then for some reason, let's say in the second render, this condition evaluates out to be false, then this is what the React would see, right? In the second render, it actually calls the user state with Mary, somewhere like this. It Now this time this use effect with persist form is not present because it was actually skipped because of this if condition. And if we then again comes the user state with popmins, then use effect with update title, so it is here. But you can see that this hook was skipped, the use effect with the persist form, and on the second line, on the second number, we have this use effect with poppins, right? But actually in the previous render it was at the third number, right? Now because of this inconsistency in the ordering, right, React is often confused, and it is unable to maintain the state of the previous render, right? So let us read out this line. React wouldn't know what to return for the second use state hook call. React expected that the second hook call in this component correspond to the persist form effect, just like that during the previous render, but it doesn't anymore. From that point, every next hook call after the one we skipped would be also shifted by one. We just saw, right? So this would lead to bugs. So this is the way. So I think that right. So in this part, right, the React is now confused that, oh, in this particular render, right, in the second on the second number, I was actually expecting a persist form, which was actually something returning something to me, but actually I'm not sure now what to return from this part, because what I am actually receiving in the second render is a use state, and this way the React is actually getting confused on how to like how to be aware of these changes. So this often leads to bugs. So this is one something which we shouldn't do. We shouldn't, as mentioned earlier, we shouldn't call the hooks inside the loops, inside the conditions, or inside the nested functions, right? This was one taking. And also yeah, so I think this was all the rules you must know, right? And we have seen the reason behind it as well. And in the next steps we have our documentation to creating our own hooks. So as stated earlier in the starting of the video, I have told that hooks let you extract the component logic so that you can reuse this at multiple places. So we are actually going to create one of the scenarios. So on the this code sandbox, I have actually created a use case where for example you have two pages in this application. One is the chat page where user can chat, and there is another a home page, like this is kind of a landing screen for our application. Now in this point, have a look at this, right? On this use online. So this use online is actually a custom hook But I'll come to that, how this whole thing was created. But before that, let us see the logic inside it. So we are actually utilizing the use state, and we are initially passing the value as false. So the initial value of is online is false actually, and after a time of 3 seconds we are updating this value to true. Okay, and we are actually returning this particular value is online, right? So what the scenario is that if I try to reload this page for you, you see that the person is not online, and after 3 seconds you can see the text changing to I am online, right? So this is happening for the home page, right? And if you check out the chat page, right, I save it, it says that user not available for chat, and after 3 seconds it populates to user available to chat. So both of these pages are actually relying upon the value of is online that we actually saw inside use online custom hook. And we will see how can we create a custom hook and what all is required to create one. But if for now let us understand one thing, that all of these pages are depending upon the value of is online, which we actually get inside this custom hook. And for example, this chat page is like checking that if the value of is online variable is true, then print user available for chat, else print user not available for chat, right? And so is the case with homepage. We want to check that if the user is online, then print I am online, otherwise print not online, right? So you see that both of these pages share a common logic, that is to check the value of the user if he is online or not, and depending upon that particular value we are actually rendering something on the screen, right? So in this scenario it was very wise decision to move the logic to set the online as true or false inside a custom hook, so that it can be reused in multiple components. As we saw that this use online custom hook was actually used by chat pages.js and homepage.js. So this created a sense of reusability for the users. Now let us enough of talking, now let's create this custom component from scratch. Okay, so we have this blank code sandbox for us, and what actually we need to do is we need to get rid of this for now, and let's get rid of all of the CSS, right? And we can get rid of this as well. Okay, now we have this. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'll create one file for us, that is home page. Yes. Okay, and I'm gonna do a export default home page, right? And this is going to return um some value, right? And before that we need to do one more thing, export default function, right? Now we need to do one more thing, we need to import the user state. So I'll create a const variable, say that is online, and set online, and we are going to use user state and initially set it as false. Okay, we have set it actually over here, and if we say if we want to print the user is online, then actually print this is the home page, right? So we will say that I am online, right? I'll say not online, and let us actually import this over here. Okay, this is working fine for us. Now we'll utilize the use effect, and we are going to say that After some time, after a set time of, for example, 3 seconds, right? I think this is enough. After 3 seconds, set online as true, so that the user is available. Okay, days st is not defined. Yeah, let's just refresh. So the user is actually not online, and after 3 seconds the user becomes online. This is working perfectly fine for us, and we can actually copy this whole component over here, and we can create a new file saying that chat page .js, and we can write it, make this, rename this component as chat page, right? And we can change the text as I am here to chat, and you can change the text to offline for chat. Okay, and we can actually go ahead and import this chat page app.js. So I'm going to do import homepage from hash chat page, and let's render this over here, and let's add actually br. So good. So it says that not online, and it changes to actually I'm here to chat. Okay, this is working fine. Okay, so this is actually working fine, and after 3 seconds you can see that both of these have changed their text, right? But for some reason we see that we are actually not reusing this logic again and again, right? So here comes the custom hooks into the picture, right? And to create a custom hook, actually we have to create a file, and the initials has to be starting with use, right? So you have to make sure that your custom hook start with function use, so that it is easier for React to determine that you are actually creating hooks. So whatever rules we have discussed so far in this particular page can be applied on this particular component custom hook which you just create, right? So let me rename this and call it use online .js. And what we can do is we can actually copy everything of this component over here, paste it, and we can change the name to use online. Notice that the initial letter is lowercase, and this you hook actually can utilize other hooks as well. And at the end, what we can do is we can just return is online only, right? So this was this was very simple, right? We just had to create a function, and we have to make sure the naming is just like this, and whatever name followed by you want to give, you can give over here, and internally you can write whatever you want. It is up to you how you want to actually implement the logic. And once you are done implementing logic, you have to return something, so that the component actually utilizing this custom hook can make changes accordingly. Now it is time for us to use this hook inside our code base. So what we can do is we can get rid of this for now, and we can write import use online from dot slash use online, and we can say that const is online equals to use online. So this was working fine, right? As fine as before, and we can actually get rid of these from here, and we can reuse same thing in the chat page as well. We can get rid of this, and we can use this over here, copy this part, and we can also get rid of this, and see, right? This was working fine as before. So you can see that this part is doing nothing, but it is just working like just any other React hook. And you can actually like add this in the lifecycle method of the component which you're actually using. Now here comes a part, that is this hook, right? Is the environment actually isolated, or are these two components actually sharing the same same instance of that particular hook? So let me tell you that the environment is totally isolated, and for us to prove that, we can actually pass the timeout as the props, and we can set it over here. Okay, so if we actually give 1 second in the chat page, and in the home page we give it at 4 seconds, right? And if we save the page and reload, we see that it is loaded in 1 second, and after 4 seconds this I am online is changed, right? So if they have shared a common environment, right, the value would have been picked up from the chat page, which is 1 second actually. So if they would have shared a common environment, then after 1 second both of these text should have been changed automatically. But we see that due to having a separate environment, these two components rendered change their text actually at different time, right? So this proves that this particular custom hook is actually creating a isolated environment every time you import it in a component. So yeah, so this was all about the custom hooks pattern, and it is, I will advise you to use this pattern as much as possible in your production projects or even in your interviews, so that you can mark a good impression in front of your interviewer, right? So this was all in this video, and if you have came so far, the like target of this video is 50 likes. And if you see that the likes are less than 50, then do go ahead and smash that like button if you're actually learning something new from the my videos, right? And do subscribe to JS Cafe if you haven't already. I'll be coming up a lot of new videos on JavaScript, React, and other stuffs, and everything about front-end engineering. So this was all in this video. See you in the next one. Till then, take care. Goodbye.